Bun găsit, vă spun de aici, de la Bruxelles. E o vorbă, nu? Toate drumurile duc la, de data aceasta vă spunem noi, la Bruxelles. Sigur, nu și drumurile din România, căci le știm cum sunt. Vorbim despre infrastructura rutieră, dar și despre ceea ce se poate face în general în legătură cu transporturile din România. Vedem mai întâi care este situația, și nu mă feresc să spun, dezastroasă de la noi.
Sau am putea spune că trăim decenii de promisiuni mărețe. Tovarășul Ceaușescu ar fi vrut să construiască în România 3200 de kilometri de autostrăzi. Până la Revoluție s-au făcut însă doar 113 kilometri. Iar de 26 de ani încoace s-au mai construit cu chiu cu vai încă vreo 500. Promisiuni au fost și mai sunt. Zice-se că până în 2022 o să avem 1000 de kilometri de autostradă. Cine să mai creadă? Când anul trecut s-au construit 12 kilometri, dar s-au închis 22. Așa de bine s-a lucrat la autostrada Lugoj-Deva că au apărut fisuri de 1 metru. Nici cu trenul nu e mai bine. Căi ferate ar fi, dar sunt atât de proaste că pe ele se circulă cu o viteză medie de 40 de km pe oră, iar iarna e dezastru.
S-a format pană și nu merge nici înainte, nici înapoi.
Ne-a pus în fund.
Dezăpezirea se face uneori la lopată.
Oamenii lucrează în condiții greu de imaginat. La fiecare 10-15 minute se opresc, merg, se încălzesc un pic în locomotivă și apoi revin și o iau de la capăt.
În alte țări e cam așa. E halucinant să vezi cum în România acum faci mai mult cu trenul decât acum aproape 80 de ani. Câteva exemple concrete. Până la Buzău, în 1939, ajungeai în mai puțin de o oră jumate. Acum, drumul durează aproape 2 ore. Până la Oradea, ajungeai în 1988 în aproape 10 ore. Acum ai de stat în tren peste 12 ore și jumătate. Despre tren de mare viteză la noi în țară nici nu poate fi vorba. TGV-ul, pe care îl vedem în special în Franța și Spania, ajunge chiar și la 320 de km pe oră. Vă puteți imagina cum ar fi să ajungeți la Suceava în mai puțin de 2 ore? Sau la Constanța în mai puțin de o oră, în loc de 3?
Today here with me are Mr. Pavel Telitska from Czech Republic. Alde, thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for inviting me. Good to be here with Claudia.
Yeah, and also Claudia Țapardel from S&D Romania. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and I want to congratulate Antena 3 for this wonderful initiative to send more and more information to the Romanian citizens about the public policy, the European public policies that we are doing here in the European Parliament.
We want to talk today about transportation. Everybody says, okay, it's a priority for every state. In Romania, we know the debate. How important is it to have an integrated transportation, to have interconnected ways of transporting people and things like this?
Well, I think if you would ask the citizens what are the benefits for them arriving from the European Union membership, then I think many of them would say, I can travel, I can move without, in fact, barriers. And of course, if you want to move, if you want to travel, if you want to do business abroad, if you want to study abroad, you need transportation. So if one doesn't have an integrated transportation system, then we don't have a full-fledged internal market. So if we are talking about a market, free movement of persons, capital, services, goods, then it is all about transportation. It is really the prerequisite. So for me, it's one of the dominant important areas, for sure, one of the priorities. I know it sounds as a cliche, but in reality, it is like that.
Have you ever been to Romania?
Yes, I have. I mean, when I was in the Czech government years back, I have been to Romania, and maybe I have been there also at my short time of commissioner. So yes, but that's a long time ago, I must admit.
Have you seen the highway? The highways?
No, I must say I have landed in Bucharest, and then I was taken. You haven't seen them. Well, then we have to do something about it. Mm-hmm. Then if the message is the highway infrastructure is sufficient, then I think it's a message that the Commission should hear loud and clear, that this is maybe something that that lacks, that Romania lacks. I know that we want environmentally friendly modes of transport, but if you don't have a highway, if you don't have a ring around a city, then it has a serious impact on environment. So for me, road transportation is, also a mode of transport that we need to develop and make it friendlier to the customer and to the environment.
Mrs. Tapardel, you know exactly how bad are the highways in Romania, how little kilometers of highways do we have in our state. What can we do?
Yes, I'm very happy for being here together with Mr. Telichka because we are working together in the Committee of Transport and Tourism. And one of my first priority in this committee was to emphasize the problem that Romania is facing, and not only Romania, other countries which were integrated more not so soon, like the Czech Republic or even other countries that were from the beginning of the European Union. And I emphasize this problem that the countries from the border areas need more investment in the infrastructure. And one of these countries is also Romania. And so we are asking to the Commission to have a new strategy for developing the infrastructure in the border areas, which also will include Romania. And because my colleague Pavel Telichka said that we need this integrated transport system at the level of the European Union. Also, we need that this system to be all around the European Union and most of all in the border countries, because we are making the connection with the countries which are not member of the European Union, but with the countries that we have economic and commercial exchanges. And for this, it's very important to have a very fluent transport system all around the European Union and also in Romania. And we need the European financing and the European funds for this.
But can we do this, even though we have the money from the European Union? Are we able to do this in Romania first?
Yes, I have let's say something like an explanation. In the mid of 90s, we didn't have no money, no resource. In the mid of 2000, we have the resource, but we didn't have the know-how and the management. I think now we have all the means for realizing and developing our infrastructure. We have the expertise and the financing support of the European Union, and we'll also need the will of our political leaders and of our executive to develop the infrastructure in Romania. Also, there are some national problems that I want to raise. It is the legislation for the public contracts and for public-private partnership, which is a very poor legislation in Romania. And also we have a problem when we are settled the contracts for developing highways and other types of infrastructure. So we also have to resolve these national problems and the national legislation that will help us to utilize and more effectively and more efficient the European funds, which are it's an amount of 43.5 billion of euro from national and most of all from the European budget to develop our infrastructure, and we have to use this money.
Mr. Telichka, shouldn't Romania be of high importance for the European Union, taking into account that we are the last country from the European Union in this region? We are a border country. Keeping in mind the exchange of goods, keeping in mind the interconnection that can be done with the help of Romania?
Well, I would be the last one to dispute it and to dispute the fact that Romania is an important part of the European Union. But if you allow me, who really matters, who really is important is the citizen, the consumer and the client businesses. I think what we want is that we have an economic growth, that we create jobs, and therefore that we do good business, that we provide for the conditions to develop business and to develop, as Claudia referred to, exchange of goods, and also outside the European Union, that's for sure. But at the same time, we also want our citizens to feel that the quality of life and also the quality of mobility is improving. So irrespective of whether one country is more important than the other, I think that what is really important is that the underdeveloped infrastructure has to be addressed in a way that we meet both objectives, both for the economic reasons, both for businesses as well as passengers. And you have referred to the fact that Romania is one of the border countries. For sure, what we should avoid is the mistake that we have made 20 or 30 years ago.
What's that?
When we felt like we are in the EU, it's the internal market that matters. And today, let's have a look. What is the connection or the connectivity between the European members and countries in the East or countries in the Southeast, in the South? And in reality today, the quality of, lack of quality of infrastructure, and I've dealt with some of these issues in the past with 10T corridors, with the East is such that they become a burden, a hurdle. So I think that today we should not be only addressing the issues of today's importance, but also look 10, 20, 25 years ahead and make sure that in 20 years we will not be facing the same bottlenecks we are facing today. It is the customer, it is the passenger, it is the client, it is the consumer. It is about the citizens that we need to address. They are the most important. Of course, member states as well, but for me, these are the ones that we need to deliver in federal.
That's the message we're trying to send to our public nowadays. We are members of the European Union. We are citizens of this European Union, and we have a lot of rights, and we should be in the center of
and if I may, you can make a difference.
Yeah.
You can put pressure. I mean, I quite often encounter in the Czech Republic people saying, well, we are a too small country and we can't make a difference. No, my experience is different. If you have the right objective, if you have a strategy with which to achieve it, if you can create allies, then you can really utilize membership for an increased quality of life, increased quality of transport, energy infrastructure, and so on. You can make a difference. And I think that the politicians are obliged to deliver a simple message to the citizens. You can have influence, you can put pressure on us, you can come with initiatives, you can come with input. And I think that in this respect, if that is also the message this show will send, I'm very happy that I've been invited by you, and especially as Claudia Tapardelli is one of my favorite colleagues. We are, political competitors. I'm liberal, she's on the left side, but I must say that on these issues, we work very closely, and I appreciate working with her.
It is very important to look at the whole picture, Mrs. Tapardel. We know that in Romania we have a lot of problems with the railways also, but we have to take also the good examples, like, I don't know, Poland or the Czech Republic in some things, or Germany, or Greek example for the highways.
Yes. The Poland example is very good, and I want to emphasize that they had a very good absorption of European funds. So in
Not
7
like us.
years, not like us. In 7 years, they doubled the number of kilometers from 700 kilometers
of highway?
Highway, they reach at 1,500 kilometers and more than 1,000 kilometers in express roads. So with a good absorption of funds, they realize this. So we can take this example, but also, let's be honest, in the 2012, 2013, 2014, we have something like an average on 120 kilometers per year, which is not bad. And also the rate of absorption in our country was raised. So we have to follow this good example and to be better and better every day. But also, allow me to, because here is my colleague from the Czech Republic, and I want to emphasize another success example. It is the integrated multimodal ticket. They have in the Czech Republic this system of using one ticket for railway, for tram, for metro. So with one ticket, you can use many means of transport, and you can make your travel more efficient, sometimes cheaper. You can save time, money. So and also using the new challenges, the new positive challenges that we are facing, which is the big data, the innovation, the digitalization.
Is this possible in Romania?
Yes, we can start, because you know that in the last 6 years I was a representative of the City Council of Bucharest. We can begin using this model in Bucharest, in our capital. It will be very useful for the Romanian citizen that lives in Bucharest to have an integrated system of ticketing and using all the means of transport from our capital. We have the example of Prague. Here in the European Parliament, we had an event discussing about this. We have also a legislative report that we supported regarding the integrated ticketing. I was also in Prague together with my colleague, and I learned from their good practices. And yes, we can implement this kind of good practice also in Romania.
In how much time?
I hope that as soon as possible, because we have a European legislation on this subject. And if we have this message from the European Parliament, I think it's a good step for implementing in our member states, and not only to have an integrated ticket at the level of a member state, but to have an integrated ticket at the level of the European Union. So you can make, let's say, a travel from Brussels, from the European Parliament headquarters to Bucharest, let's say to the National Parliament of Bucharest, by using an integrated ticketing system. This is the future, and we have to be conscious that...
We don't have high-speed trains, you know?
Yes, but we have a company. Yes, but you know that we have a company in Craiova, the Softronic company, which is creating these modern trains. And it is a beginning. We have to use and absorb more European funds and to develop us.
We just have to communicate between us, the
of course.
Member states of the European Union. Thank you for being with me today. And I will continue this discussion with the spokesman for transport and regional policy.
Acest pod există. E cel mai mare din lume, iar chinezii l-au făcut în doar 4 ani. E construit peste o mare, are 3 benzi pe sens și 37 de kilometri. Vă întreb, noi în 4 ani cât am putut să construim? Doar în ultimul an am făcut 12 kilometri de autostradă, la șes, dar am închis alți 22, că se surpau.
We are continuing our discussion now with Jakub Adamovic. He's a spokesman for transport and regional policy. Thank you for being here with me today. What can we do? And by we, I mean state that's member in the European Union for a better transportation system.
So, good evening. Why is transport so important? Because it is a key enabler for economic growth, for also everybody who is a European citizen to live good and better in the future. Transport is, of course, the backbone of the European economy, and we need the European economy to have a social Europe. If we want to have higher social standards, we need to work for them, and that's why transport is the backbone of this strategy. What we can do? Well, there are a lot of instruments around. There is cohesion policy funds. Oh, this is more about a collective effort, because it starts with every one of us. All Europeans are involved in this. The Commission is coordinating and proposing strategies. We have the regional funds. We have also the so-called Connect Europe facility, which is also a very important tool with a lot of opportunities. The key is to use those tools with a good result afterwards. And that's what all have to do collectively.
Are the European member states doing this?
Of course, the Commission is working together with all 28 member states every day, and this in long perspectives to achieve these goals. For example, in regional policy, transport plays a very important role, and this is being designed in 7-year frames. There are financial periods for 7 years in which then concrete projects are being agreed together with the member states and then implemented. This is a way of making sure that we have a strategic approach, that we know, for example, at the beginning of this period, 2014 to 2020, what the objectives are and what, at the end of the period, the results should be, both in terms of finance, in terms of results, in terms of the impact that new transport projects have for the lives of people. Because this is, of course, very important. If it's for entrepreneurs who need good transportation infrastructure to deliver their goods, if it is for citizens in cities, in rural areas who need to move around, or if it is for traveling public, those who take planes, trains, who drive cars, who use buses, who use ships, all of these people, they, through this approach that we have, the 7-year planning, can see, aha, what is the state of play now? Where will we stand in 2020?
Are you working with Romania also?
Absolutely. So Romania...
We don't feel this, or to be more exact, we are far behind other states from the European Union in terms of transportation. We do not have, let's say, high-speed trains, for example. We have so little kilometers of highways in Romania. So, what we do wrong?
I don't think Romania is doing a lot of things wrong. I think Romania is doing a lot of things right. Let's
You're
give
politically correct now.
We had 2007 to 2013, the first period in which Romania was able to benefit from the funds. And this is a significant statement because, of course, other countries already had access to those funds and to the common European transport policy beforehand. So, of course, someone who joins the European Union in 2007 cannot realistically have the same level of infrastructure by 2016 as a founding member. Also, when we consider the recent past history, of course, the countries east of the Iron Curtain had different development premises than those in Western Europe. Now, Romania at this moment is going through a very ambitious program, and in the framework of both the cohesion policy, the regional policy, and the Connect Europe facility, the outcome will be that in 2020 Romania infrastructure in terms of transport will be very much improved. So it is certainly not right to say that Romania is lagging behind. Romania has a good dynamic. What is important now is administrative capacity, which means also implement all the projects in practice that we agreed upon together at the beginning of the financing period.
So you are saying that on paper we are okay, let's see in practice?
No, on paper we have agreed common ambitious goals, and now 2016 has just started, so we are at the beginning of this financing period. What is important now is to really implement, but this is not a message we only say to Romania, this is a message we pass on to all member states. Things should never be taken for granted, and especially what has happened now also, it is not the same logic as with the 2007 to 2013 framework. The conditions are different now. For eligibility, the projects are more ambitious, so the work required has also changed in scope. So it is not enough to now say, we've done our job 2007-2013. No, now is also the time to implement 2014-2020.
Thank you for this discussion. I think we have a lot to learn and to implement in the next period. Thank you again for being with me. And I'm saying to our public to stay on Antenna 3 television.